Hey, brewery or small business owner. At the Beer Accountant, they understand the unique financial challenges of the craft brewing industry. Are you tired of navigating complex brewery accounting and taxes on your own? Staying up late working on financials and getting your finances in order after a whole workday? They're a CPA dedicated to helping breweries like yours thrive, with services ranging from qualified bookkeeping, business tax prep, to strategic financial planning. Stop wasting time on spreadsheets and focus on what you do best: making great beer and running a small business, servicing over 50 breweries in 4 states. So if you own a brewery or small business, stop overpaying for reactive support and start being proactive with the Beer Accountant. Don't brew that IPA without this CPA. Visit beeraccountant.com to learn how their specialized expertise can help your brewery grow, profit, and succeed.
Are you a brewer looking to open, grow, or plan your next move? I'm Ted Zeller, liquor law attorney at Norris McLaughlin. I've spent my career working with breweries, helping them navigate the regulations that come with this industry at the municipal, county, state, and federal levels. From first permits to expansion into new markets, my team serves as legal counsel on licensing, compliance, and distribution. If you're ready to plan your next move or need legal guidance, I am here to help. Feel free to call me at 484-765-2220 or email me at tzeller@norris-law.com.
It's a unique perspective that wasn't there before. In the brewing, not literature, but this is like almost social media and YouTube is like the new literature.
Yeah, it's just a different space, and there's such crazy power in YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. But like, I've been blown away coming here, and just like when I talk to people, they feel like they know you, and like it's like a legitimate connection that you can form with people.
Welcome back to the BrewedAt podcast. I'm your host, Richie Tevlin, joined as always by Evan Blum.
Hello, day 2 on CBC episode 6.
We're in the middle of the marathon. So today we have on, or right now, Adam Mills, aka Adam Makes Beer. I'm sure probably most people that are listening to this are kind of on beer social media. They've probably seen your face, they've heard your voice.
Yeah.
But welcome to the studio. It is fun to like have people in like you where it's just like we're internet friends.
Sure, yeah, sure.
I can't meet you in person. Like, oh, you do exist. You're not an AI bot.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. So you are, where are you coming from?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Yeah. Cool. How do you like Philadelphia so far?
It's great. I was here, I think the last time I was here for CBC, we said maybe it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Here. So yeah, I've had a good time both times.
Nice.
Fun city.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So Adam Makes Beer is an account or something that, what would you call it?
Really started with a YouTube channel.
YouTube channel that you started a couple years ago?
In 2022. Yeah.
2022. You've kind of exploded. You've done a great job. You are a great content creator.
That's fine.
And what we like to do, or what we talk about a lot, is like the education piece. Sure. And you've done a great job of like kind of putting yourself out there. And, you know, we are, you know, proponents of putting a person behind something, like actually talking. We obviously are fans of that, but also the education stuff. So I guess could we just start off with like your history in craft beer? We'll just like kind of catch people up that don't know who you are, and then start talking about Adam Makes Beer.
Well, first of all, thank you for the kind words. It is a leap when you start putting things on the internet, especially when you're trying to do something educational, because the internet is notorious for
Trolls,
opinions, and so it's been interesting. So what really got me wanting to do it was the first 10 years of my career, I was a teacher, and then I got into professional brewing. And when I moved to Cincinnati for a job, I kind of lost my local network of brewers that I was close with. So I went to YouTube, and there's not a lot of pro side content on YouTube.
Well, for what? For educate, like you're asking questions?
Like I just had some issues, like I didn't have somebody else to look at some equipment with me to give me an opinion.
Yeah.
So I went to YouTube because pretty much everything's on there. And there's not a lot of pro side stuff. And so I started thinking about doing something. And really it just started with me with an iPhone 8. And really I didn't even have a mic at that point, but I just started recording my brew days. and then talking about like what I was doing and why.
Yeah.
And I've always approached it through the lens of, I don't know everything. I'm on my path as a brewer. And so I would just share what I knew. And that was originally all on YouTube, and I would do some stuff on Instagram. And then I started doing Q&A podcasts, live streamed. And then that kind of grew into a larger podcast thing where I do one every week, where the other ones are like an industry pro podcast, where I talk to other industry professionals, technical topics, different things. And I do a little bit of career development as well. One of the reasons that I'm passionate about that is I don't think when I was a younger person, either in the industry or when I was teaching, that I didn't have like a career lens. I just showed up when I was supposed to be there. I taught, and then I could leave at 3:30. You know what I mean? So I like to approach things like that because people make big decisions about entering this industry, sometimes leaving higher paying jobs, taking out big loans to open breweries.
They shape their whole life around it without knowing the full spectrum of what's going to happen.
Sure. And so really, really looking at it through that lens, like that's really what I'm passionate about. And I do love making beer. I love pursuing making great beer. But something that's far more satisfying is when I can help people grow in the brewery that I'm working in or over the internet. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think what really differentiates you, there's lots of people that make beer content. There's lots of people that make great homebrew education stuff. You're the first person that I've seen that's like a self-made, like professional brewing, education person. Like you're saying, like there's so much homebrew information out there, and I think maybe sometimes it's like the owners don't want to share what they're doing. I think that a lot of that in the brewing industry has kind of gone away, and then also sometimes employees are afraid to kind of post what they're doing. But
Sure.
What was that process like? Did you kind of have a talk with like the owners of the business saying like, hey, I'm going to be posting stuff behind the scenes. Like, are you okay with that?
It was a longer process because in my mind, the way I looked at it is first of all, I do try to carry myself like professionally. So like when I started the Instagram, it wasn't an old personal Instagram that I had. Like everything's always been Adam Makes Beer.
Yeah.
And so I've always kind of looked at it in a way that nothing I'm going to do like in the videos is going to embarrass the company that I work for.
Yeah.
And also like you also like want to be like taken seriously on some level too. And I have fun and I laugh and we have a good time. But when it comes to that stuff, I try to keep it, pretty above board with that. So it was a little bit of a conversation with the original ownership at Cartridge about making content. And then they did end up saying, yeah, I can do it as long as it doesn't interfere with what I'm doing. So yeah, I just started recording stuff. I had a dear friend of mine helping me with editing at the time because I didn't have any of the skills. You might be able to tell when you look at the concept, but like I don't have background with anything that I'm doing in this space at that time, and so I was recording stuff and sending it all to him, and finally after 2 months of that, he said, "Okay, we can use what you sent today." So it takes time because you're just so self-conscious. You know what I mean? And then like also like, as a middle-aged man doing manual labor, there's parts of your body that you didn't know looked like that. You know what I mean? Like I have this area around the hips where you're like, what is that?
There's
like,
parts of my body I've never seen before.
But, like just even getting semi-used to being recorded because it can be so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like discovering your stage presence.
Yeah. And really what I've always found is, and when people ask me about stuff, if they're thinking about doing a podcast or whatever, I think one of the best decisions you can make is just really just be who you are. Don't like do like a bit.
Yep.
And so, cause I have that silly smile face.
Yeah.
The reason that I used that is I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Like I look really happy and maybe a little crazy. And I was telling my wife, like, I have to have like a logo picture and I think it would be funny to use this, but I think it might turn some people off. And she goes, but it's just your personality, so just be that.
Yeah.
because if somebody's turned off by that, your stuff probably won't be for them anyways. You know what I mean? And at least when you're yourself, you actually give people an opportunity to connect to you.
If you vanilla everything out, it's not interesting anymore. Yeah. You got to have some personality, some flair. And I know Mr. Beast always talks about this because he's the YouTube guy.
Sure, yeah.
He talks about like the thumbnail images and how and they're like you need a clickable thumbnail.
Yeah, and I've had people talk about my face. Reddit in particular, the brewery subreddit, occasionally that does not like me.
Reddit is that is as
It's tough, dude.
yeah. Reddit's the toughest one.
It's so tough.
Oh, there's no profiles behind, so it's a lot of keyboard warriors.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, by and large, people have been just even like in the comments. It's very rare where I get negative feedback, and I think part of it is because I don't think I know everything, and I think that goes a long way.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And I do try to take my job seriously, so I try to explain sound practice and it's always through the lens of leveraging the equipment you have, because everybody has a range of stuff. I mean, I've worked at a place where I was fermenting with no temperature control in plastic. Like, you know what I mean? People there's a wide range of stuff out there that people are working with. So
definitely, it's like recipes aren't really protected because it's like every brewing system is its own little art piece. So it's definitely interesting. But I know, so this podcast is kind of the same thing where we started a little bit slightly after you, but not like Evan is the one editing it and like no experience.
No editing experience. I came from a supply chain management background.
Yeah.
So I love editing podcasts.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like, I just do like just very bare bones editing. And I've had the pleasure of doing some work with some sponsors and stuff. And I love it. Like I had companies say, your style is raw. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's my style. It's not my lack of confidence, right? But like, I think the nice thing is, and I think sometimes people can get caught up in, I love to have my audio as good as I can. I love to have my video as good as I can. But I think more importantly, if people that watch my stuff are there primarily for information. So like, if they can see me and they can hear what I'm saying well enough, like they're there to see what we're doing in the brewery. So I think that's kind of given me some cushion too. And I mean, we're working it's an industrial space. It's a production space. So there's going to be sounds, things like that. But yeah, that's kind of been my approach with it. So.
Definitely. And YouTube has just become in the last, since we've been around, the default, I don't know how to do something. Let me jump on YouTube first.
Yeah, it's like Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's cool that now there's a video platform of like, it's not just someone standing in front of a whiteboard explaining something. Like you're in the brew house, walking through how stuff works.
Yeah.
Like I have like kind of a formal brewing education, but that's talking about like biology and stuff. Like it's a lot different than putting a tri-clam together or changing out a pump seal or cleaning a tank or some of the stuff that you kind of are explaining that are like real world stuff that like a brewer's gonna have to deal with every single day.
Sure. And even yesterday, like whenever people talk to me about watching my stuff or whatever, I'm always interested in hearing what has been really helpful for them. It's the nuts and bolts stuff. Like I have people like, just you showing me how you kegged out of a Bright and like using the keg coupler filler and stuff like that. Like people get into situations and I have a meme where it's like, you've been washing kegs for 2 weeks and then you're promoted to head brewer. And then there's a lady that's like, you are now one of our elite employees.
Yes.
So it was that. But like, that's a joke, but it's also very true. Like the number of people that they're in a situation all of a sudden where they're running the brew house, they have to do procurement, and that it might be smaller on the pub side, but still like the road to the top can be very, very quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, sometimes it's just those nuts and bolts things, like the really practical day-to-day pub
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Filling a keg from a break tank, not that difficult. But if you've never done it before, it'd be like, I have no idea
Absolutely.
what's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like, it's just little things like I know when I'm filling 3 kegs at once off a bright tank, I need my pressure higher than what just head pressure is supposed to be, to keep that tank balanced.
Yeah.
And I think we take that stuff for granted. You know what I mean? As people that have been doing it for 5, 10, 15 years or whatever. And it's good to have those resources out there because there's a lot of people that I think we can forget about the fact that this is our dream, right? And even when even in like harder times, which they are harder times right now compared to some others, like most of us are in or at some point got in to chase something exciting in the industry. And again, a creative, passion-driven thing.
Isn't that why we got into it? Because we wanted to build something, we wanted to create something. If it's already built, what's the point?
Absolutely.
We want to start now.
Well, and
build it.
That's the same thing like when it comes to recipe stuff. My mom is so sweet. She's a sweet Italian lady. And so I would do these brew days and I would like give full recipes, what I'm doing with the water, what I'm doing with fermentation. And she would always say, honey, you're telling everybody, what you're doing. Do you think that's okay? And I'm like, Mom, listen, like, I'm not in the top 1% of, like I said, there's always people that are better educated, smarter, more experienced, more talented, right? But like what I can do at a high level is help people understand what's happening in the workplace, in the brewery. And the other thing is, and kind of like what you hinted at, I don't expect somebody to want to make my beer. I don't want to make somebody else's beer. Like, when I have a chance to talk to a brewer about a beer in the glass, I'm excited to break it all the way down because I just love pulling beers apart and understanding how they're creating balance. And I just want to add stuff to my tool belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to make, even if it's a great beer, I don't want to make their beer. Like, I want to make my beer. Like, I have my voice as a brewer, So yeah, I've been doing some recipe development content as well because I think there's a gap there. A lot of times people will come in and they go into an already established pub and there's a range of recipes. They're already there and they just start brewing them. And so but there can be a gap if you don't have like kind of an extensive homebrew side or a real opportunity to do a lot of work with a pilot system. It's not easy to understand how to build those things out, achieve balance and the flavors that you want to and things like that. So I really enjoy doing that as well.
Nice.
And you've been doing a lot of speaking as well. Like, so when I was at the BOP this past year, and are you speaking at the conference as well?
Yeah, I'm going to be leading a roundtable discussion around BrewedAt and fermentation data tracking with Senos.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So you've been doing a lot of speaking. And the one at the BOP, I think it was a focus on burnout as well.
Yeah.
And that was something that really interests me. But like most of our industry are entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So everybody is going through and pushing and really like just putting their all into it. And there's a really important discussion I thought you had.
Well, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the work that we do is physical. There's a lot of demands on it. I think probably more often than not, as brewers, we put more pressure on ourselves than anybody else. And potentially, like maybe impossible expectations. Maybe that's just me. But like, talking about that stuff is important. And when I discuss issues like that, it's not like, and again, it's not like from the viewpoint of, oh, like I'm some guru that's got like my life together and whatever. Really what it is like, I talk about the stuff that I struggle with and the approaches that I took that led me to unhappiness. So yeah, I feel that's one of those things. So like when I was teaching, I felt like I was doing like a thing, like for, my town or, my community. And when I got into the beer side, I felt like I lost that. And I think when I got happier in my career, when I realized that I do love the beer side stuff, but it's the interpersonal stuff that really makes me feel good at the end of the day. So I love when I can merge those things. And again, I just talk about ways that I've dropped the ball, and things I've learned from it. So
there's also, you come from like a unique perspective of someone that's like out there and kind of like giving your perspective. Like I could listen to Garrett Oliver wax on about beer all day, every day.
yeah.
But there's a lot more people in the industry that are in your shoes, not Garrett Oliver's shoes.
Sure.
So I think that there's a lot of people that are like, this is amazing, like what he's talking about, like these amazing, beautiful things. But there's also a different perspective of the brewing industry that, like, you being a production brewer is like kind of a different angle. And I think it's kind of refreshing, and it's like what you're saying, the rawness. I think just all of social media is kind of like that right now, because like everything's so edited, and AI, all this other stuff. Like people are able to see things that are like real, and I just think it's a unique perspective that wasn't there before in the brewing. Not literature, but this is like almost social media and YouTube is like the new literature.
Yeah, it's just a different space, and there's such crazy power in YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. But like, I've been blown away coming here, and just like when I talk to people, they feel like they know you, and like it's like a legitimate connection that you can form with people. And I also think, so I think that in part is like some of the responsibility of it too. Like when we're talking about like being yourself, like I think it's really important to do that, because people are like connecting up with you based on what you do. And like, listen, like, so sometimes people like they'll talk about like, if you want to use like the word influencer or whatever, I'm a little allergic to that, because like, I'm not cute enough. You know what I mean? Like what I want to be doing. So I do memes. The reason I do memes is I like to make people laugh, but it's the best way for me to get reach.
They're funny.
Memes are, thank you.
They're really funny.
Thank you. So memes they get far more reach than educational stuff. So it's a way of getting me in front of people that are in the industry. And then if they're down with the educational stuff, it's there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's an interesting beast.
You said people will ask you for like more technical stuff. You do the Q&A stuff. Have you seen kind of questions change or evolve throughout you kind of?
Yeah. I think, a lot of stuff that I get a lot of questions from brewers on the newer side of things, experience wise.
Yeah.
But I also get veteran brewers that are asking questions about newer products. So whether, we're talking about, like the advanced hop products, the genetic modification that they're doing with yeast strains and stuff like that.
Are any of these companies reaching out to you and like trying to give it to you to work with?
I've done some work with some folks.
Because the way your content is, there's a lot of content on YouTube where it's like car mechanics and people that are like, just welcome to my garage.
Yep.
Here's how I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And a lot of them is just like, they get like the car manufacturers like send them stuff and be like,
Yes.
Use this, show you how it works. And I think that like you are kind of the perfect platform for something like that.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
That's my goal. So like I've been a little I'm not going to charge ever. So like you could do like a subscription on YouTube, and that's just like, and I always tell people that's just like, if you have the scratch and you're getting something out of it and you want to give me $2.99 a month, that's great.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't want my stuff to be paywalled.
Yeah.
Because the people that taught me that stuff wasn't paywalled. Yeah. I came up listening to the Brewing Network in the early 2000s, and they're interviewing the biggest, they're based in California. So all these killer pro brewers, great home brewers, and it was all free. And I'm listening to Vinny Chilurzo, Matt Brynelson, all these guys, and they're just telling you everything.
Yeah.
And so how can I not like do that? Like if they're better than I'm ever going to be.
Yeah.
Right? So I love the idea of, I want my content always to be free across platforms. And what I would like to do is like big picture, and I do some of it, but I would like to work with raw material suppliers so I can help educate people on how to use the products.
Definitely.
That's the business side of that.
Yeah,
for me.
we've had a couple people on recently that talk about like the value, how brewers can add value or perceive value back to the customers is like showing them the raw materials, showing them the supply chain of like, this is where your hops are coming from. This is literally the hop farm. This is the acre that is coming from.
Yeah.
And but I think also on the production side of that, if you can go through and you can show customers like, this is what's happening in here, like, this is all the things that can go wrong, like this is how we're adding value, this is how we're creating your product, I think it just makes the craft beer products more valuable.
Yeah, and it's that, and so mostly it's pro brewers watching my stuff, but there are just like, craft beer geeks too, because when I go to different breweries and do brew days with them, it's giving people an opportunity. It's like the super brewery tour. It's like the kind of brewer for a day experience. Now, it is almost always through a technical lens. Yeah. So some of it might not hit with all of them, but there's a lot of people that are on the engineering side, process side, whatever, and they can geek out on that stuff,
Have you seen the Brewmaster Treehouse?
Yeah.
There's like walk through interviews like this.
Yeah.
And Treehouse has just reached another level. But there's a lot of people that watch that are not technical brewer. They're not even in the industry. They're just fans of Treehouse.
Yeah.
But I think it showed a lot of the public the value of Treehouse.
Absolutely.
And like they weren't just professionals,
Yeah, I think it's a really sharp move by them.
Yeah.
Like it's not like having a YouTube channel is not the entire marketing plan, but you're going to hit with a group of people, and I think sometimes we can lose sight of the fact that they'll talk about 80% of your profit comes from 20% of your people or whatever, but like when you're talking about building a connection with people and building loyalty with people, that's one tool that you can leverage to really connect with people. Video can do that in a unique way because you have people talking.
Evergreen content too. It's like your videos are going to be up there for 25 years and not lose any sort of significance. It's not like a pump is going to change, in the next 25 years significantly.
Well, and there's some stuff that I'm probably going to do. So I'm probably going to go back and re-examine some of the CIP videos I did in the past and just look at them through the lens of what I've learned over that time.
Yeah.
Just kind of do, CIP revisited. So, you can always refresh stuff and whatever. But yeah, there is plenty of stuff that's pretty evergreen. Absolutely.
Nice. Do you have any plans to kind of expand this or, what?
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. I mean, I want to be able to help people grow in the industry, and I'm getting to do more content with different people, and you can just kind of feel it. You can kind of just feel it building. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, long term, I mean, my dream would be for this to be the full-time job as opposed to the second full-time job.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's been a lesson in patience as well, because it's a grind, and it doesn't just happen. Like, what I'm doing is a niche of a niche of a niche. You know what I mean? So it's not like, it's never going to be Mr. Beast. You know what I mean? Something like that. So,
but building up that bank is something that like the listeners that are finding you now, I think you're much more special than if they were to find you when you only had 5 videos out.
100%.
You're much more valuable to them. They can go through and watch all your videos, and it's like you've created this persona that Adam makes beer.
Yes.
And it's something that's better than it was. And it keeps getting better,
And it just takes, and it is a grind though. And I mean, you guys know doing this.
People make fun of the social media, it's like there's this stigma around it that it's just like you're a joke.
Sure.
But like it is as much as we are not. I mean, I guess you are doing physical work in your videos. Like, we're not doing physical work here, but it is a lot of effort and work and kind of grind.
Sure.
It's definitely a grind.
Well, like maintain, like I can go back and listen to, and I'm still not, I have plenty of filler words and stuff like that, but you do get better over time. Oh, yeah. And being as extroverted as I am, when I first started interviewing people, I was talking way too much. And like, I realize I'm like, okay, wait, like you don't need to tell that story right now.
Yep.
And because I do want it to be conversational. And maybe arguably I still do talk too much when I'm interviewing a person, but there's a little voice that reminds me, oh, hey, wait, just pump the brakes. They're still rolling, right? And then just kind of going into the facilitator role, because I do 2 hour, like when I do AMAs, Q&As, they're 2 hours long and it's just me talking to the ether and the chat, which is kind of bizarre. Every time I do this, I'm like, oh my, that was 2 hours? That's insane. So like I can do that, but it's a different gear when you're interfacing with somebody.
You put out some like hour-long videos of just you talk, not even the AMAs, of just you talking. Yeah. I've never done something like that, but that's gotta, like you said, gotta be very different. Like, you know, if I don't have more to say, at least you guys.
I could be more silly with that. Like, I love the AMAs. So I had a friend, a listener friend. He made some intro songs for me because I was having problems. I had some independent artists that would give me music that I would use for intro, and then it would hit Spotify, and then I would get knocked. And so he made some like AI stuff for me, which is absolutely hilarious. He's known me for a long time, and so he references things about me. And so like in those, like I'll play like the funny intro song, and it is cool because you can actually talk to the people in chat when I'm interviewing, because they're all live. So, but when I'm interviewing, I'm so focused on the person that I'm talking to, it's hard to maintain the chat, right?
Yeah.
But when it's just me, and yeah, it's easier, it's more fun. And you can joke around a little bit, so
definitely
I enjoy that.
It's like your own personal Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Nice. I think that has been half an hour. That flew by.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, this has been really fun. It's nice, like I said, it's great to connect with you. We're here trying to talk to people, and it's great to connect to someone like you that's like kind of leading the charge, and like, you know, your face is just so recognizable across the whole industry, and you know. Like I said, it's a breath of fresh air to get someone that's like actually doing education stuff on.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
But, cool. I guess, obviously, where can we find you?
Yeah, Adam Makes Beer on YouTube, Instagram, and all the other ones. My Facebook is still my old person, so it's Adam Mills on Facebook. But yeah. Adam Makes Beer.
I'm sure all of our listeners already know who you are, but everyone needs to go back, especially if you're a brewer. Really, I think a lot of the value for you, brewers that are working at small breweries that don't have somebody that they can ask questions to, you're kind of like big brother for them that can go through and just be like, I don't know how to do this, but Adam does.
So just hit up the playlists on YouTube. And so I have full brew days. I have tutorials in there. And yeah, that's a pretty good backlog of resources. And then I have the weekly podcast that you can join live, ask questions there. Then they're always on, Spotify and Apple Pod and everything like that.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. And you can follow us at BrewedAt, at the BrewedAt podcast. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.
Cheers.